to you the main tools adopted by the ECOWAS Commission. The next slide, please. Thank you. ECOWAS has, in recent years, taken a step toward strengthening weather, water, and climate services in West Africa, and drafting some and adopting some policy document. ECOWAS is a diverse region with 350 million inhabitants and 15 member states. ECOWAS has a diverse institutional landscape, including SEALS, UMOA or WAEMU in English, River Basin Organization, Volta, including Volta, Niger, Senegal, Lac Chad Basin, and other, as well as partners such as the World Bank. ECOWAS has nominated agreement since 2020 as our official climate center for West Africa and the Sahel. Next, please. It is important to highlight that within the addressing of the weather, water, and climate services, ECOWAS organized in 2018 in Abidjan the first hydromet forum, and thereafter this year in April, in Banjul, we organized a second hydromet forum. It was hybrid high-level meeting, and from that meeting, the ministers adopted 3 documents: the ECOWAS flood risk management policy, the ECOWAS hydromet initiative, and the ECOWAS disaster reduction gender strategy and action plan. This is important to highlight that that document that was validated by the technical minister was submitted through the community procedure, and at the end of the procedure through the ECOWAS Parliament, the Council of Ministers adopted the document. So it is important to highlight for the high-level meeting that 500 online participants discussing on different issues, and it was highlight the fact that the combined effort of national, regional, institution, and river basin technical partners are required to strengthen their service. Forum members recognize also the key role of the private sector, social media, civil society, media, and other non-state stakeholders. Like I said, the 3 documents were adopted by the ECOWAS Council of Ministers. Slide, please. So the first document, the flood risk management strategies, the strategic objective of the flood risk management is to address the weakness observed in knowledge management and governance related to flood strategy management at national and regional level, and comprise 4 pillars. The first pillar is related to the governance. It is to improve collaboration and development of synergy amongst the various institutions. And the second pillar is to harmonize the flood risk management approach. The third pillar is to establish or to strengthen the flood warning system and information dissemination, on climate risk in member state and the region. As you can see, there are two levels, the region and each of the member states. And the fourth pillar is to integrate flood risk in development planning in member states. There are the four pillars that guide the action, the strategic and operational action. Please slide. Next. For instance, when there is an example of action related to the implementation of Pillar 3, it is a collaboration with WASCAL and agreement on fund for, this is just an example to show that how ECOWAS collaborate with is a regional technical partner. In the map, you can see the snapshot of FANFAR, who show the platform for flood forecasting developed by Agreement Next, please. The second document is the hydromet initiative, which is a regional program for strengthening the weather, water, climate, and early warning services. And this program highlights the status and challenges of hydromet services in West Africa. It's important to mention that the hydromet service program was developed through the assessment of the services in all the 15 member states, with the support of consultants, the World Bank and WMO. So, like you can see on the screen, there are different challenges which were raised. The first is the high deterioration of hydromet observation network, including for the reception of satellite data. We implemented different projects like MESA project with agreement collaboration, and we noted that there was high deterioration of hydromet observation network. Other challenges is the weak maintenance of the existing observation network, the absence of archiving system and technical manual on forecasting and verification, weak data sharing mechanism across ECOWAS, inadequate internet and computing facilities, limited funding, human resources, and operational budget, lack of regional calibration, Center for Observation equipment, lack of mechanism of funding of regional institutions. As you can see, there are so many challenges to be addressed. And at your left, you can see the table where in the different column, you can see for each of the member states. When it's come to weather services, climate services, hydrology services, you can see where is essential and where is full. And so some of the country have a basic services, and those are essential. The country who has full services regarding climate service and climate weather services are very few. You can see in green. For hydrology service, most of them are basic capacities. Next, please. It is important to notice that from the challenges, to address the challenges, we have some expected outcome, which are enhancing the capacity building and institutional development of hydromet and climate institution. Information of hydrometeorological data are effectively collected and analyzed and managed. Community and businesses receive adequate hydrometeorological information and early warning. Research and development is closely integrated and coordinated across the region. The status of weather, water, and climate service is actively monitored. The overall need are estimated at 290 million for strengthening the hydromet services at national level and 34.5 million to strengthen the regional initiative. As I highlighted, we work closely with AgriMet, WASCAL, and other partners. The Hydromet Forum, the first and the second that held in 2018 and 2021, was supported by WMO, AMCOMET, EU MedSat, AFDB, Green Climate Fund, Cruise, Secretariat, AFD, UNDP, UNDRR, World Bank. I would like sincerely to thank all those partners. As you can see at your left, the different stop the entire hydromet value chain from observation to the services.
Bernard, maybe I can come in.
Benefit and cost. Next slide, please.
Yes, Bernard, maybe help us to in 1 minute or 30 seconds.
1 minute, just to
come forward and come
it's
to the next point.
It's important to notice in this slide that the cost benefits analysis point out that investing in strengthening weather, water, climate, and early warning service in ECCAS region will return between $7 and $10 US of benefit for every $1 US invested. Benefit would mainly come from improved agricultural production, reduced loss from flood, and better management of drought. Next. This is the next slide. It is important to conclude by the next step. The next step is that we are working to formulate an implementation plan for the tree policy considering existing program in ECCAS member state. The second step is to establish a monitoring and evaluation framework to monitor progress in the region toward the objective of the tree policies. The third step is to set up a team of experts at ECCAS to support planning, monitoring, and implementation. And we plan to organize a partnership conference by December 2021 to mobilize the resources for the program. I would like to invite all the partners here to join the ECCAS Hydromet initiative as well as the flood strategy. Thank you very much. You can see on the picture the chairperson of the Council of the high-level meeting of the minister in Banjul. We can see also the vice president of the Gambia. So thank you very much, as well as the Commissioner Sekou Sangarou at your left. Over to you, Carl. Thank you. One.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Yao Bernard Kofi, for and congratulations for, if we can say, this trailblazing policies, which I think some of the other RECs are also looking at. And now we have looked at very much from the policy and from the regional perspective side. And now I'm happy to invite Matthias Rabelman-Jara from the SADC Climate Service Center, who is chipping in for Dr. Prithviraj Boniadi, to present as well in a few minutes what the SADC Climate Service Center is doing, and also some highlights around a regional study which was prepared with the support of the ACP program. So Matthias, it's over to you. We need to catch up a bit of time, so let's try to keep it within our time. Matthias, over to you, and very much looking forward to your presentation.
Thank you, Carl. First of all, I would like to thank World Bank and World Bank to organize this session. I'd like as well to thank all participants, speakers, and who follow this session. I'm Matthias, Program Officer from Climate Service Center, SADC Secretariat. I'm here to present this presentation on behalf of Dr. Boniadi. Next slide, please. A meteorological sector, especially SADC Climate Service Center, was established in 1990 as a drought monitoring center in Zimbabwe to provide regional operational services for monitoring and predicting extreme weather events. Since 2002, Botswana Department Meteorological Services hosted the SADC CSC under SADC Secretariat. CSC provide most of meteorological program in SADC region. Next slide, please. The main activities meteorological sector is to ensure generation and dissemination of timely and credible meteorological and climate information and products for safety and well-being of people, sustainable development and environmental protection, as guided by SADC Regional Indicative Strategy Development and Regional Infrastructure Development Master Plan. The activities are to improve the observation network infrastructure, to procure the operational infrastructure for advanced data processing, to develop the regional climate forecasting system, to advance climate information application to various socioeconomic sectors, to build capacity of regional and national experts in the establishment of effective early warning system. Next slide, please. For the product, SADC CSC used numeric weather prediction model for modeling various weather parameters for up to 7 days in order to detect extreme weather event. As well, as we can see in the two pictures right side, one for precipitation and the second one is a tropical cyclone advisor. It shows the trajectory of the cyclone and the country will affect. The three picture left side is the consensus of seasonal forecasting during the Regional Climate Outlook Forum. In that case, we used the climate prediction tools model for ERI and SADC tools named climate forecasting tool and early warning advisor bulletin for the 2021-2022 Southern African regional rainfall season will be present next week in October. Next slide, please. A stock taking has been carried out within of National Hydro and Met Service, river basin organizations and SADC organizations on investment plan for modernization of regional relevant early warning systems for extreme weather event. On research institutions which are useful for capacity building and may need for further support, and as well public private sectors engagement on opportunity to extend or improve early warning system. Next slide, please. On this slide shows the early result and feedback on status of meteorological service. In the first left maps shows that most of the country in the region are in the category essential service level in meteorological. South Africa and Tanzania, Seychelles are advanced. Some country, Madagascar, Seychelles, Mauritius are fully, and others are basic and below. In the second right maps shows that South Africa is fully doing a service level on hydrology. Namibia, Zimbabwe, Zambia, Mozambique, Lesotho are doing essential. Angola, Tanzania, Malawi, Botswana, Mauritius, Eswatini are doing basic service level on hydrology, and others countries are below basic. Next slide, please. In this slide, we identified some action for strengthening hydromet services, as well to storage institution capacity of and collaboration between national and regional organizations, to observation and monitoring network in the region as better equipment to support early warning services, improved lead, timely, and accuracy of hydromet focused with emphasis on the key location, and improve generation and dissemination of impact-based early warning for specific user groups. Next slide, please. At the end, we come up with the estimate needs for strengthening hydromet services. 116 million of investment needs for the infrastructure service modernization and exchange collaboration. About 9 million for the operational and maintaining of services per year. And for the 1 million investment, we expect has benefited about 8 million. Thank you for your kind consideration. Thank you.
Thank you, Matthias, for the very interesting presentation. I think we had now two perspectives from the regional entities, which was, by the way, supported through our regional ACP program, the so-called R2 program, working with SADC and ECOWAS. Good to mention that also ECCAS as well as IGAD were involved. Unfortunately, they are, due to program constraints, not able to present as well. But I'm equally excited to ask now Prime Ngabonziza to present on a very practical case Rwanda has put forward on early warning, and that was also supported with the ACP program. So Prime, it's over to you to walk us through what you have done, and I think you've seen exciting achievements on the early warning side. Over to you.
Thank you, moderator, Mr. Carl, for giving us this good opportunity. It is even a special opportunity for us as a Rwanda Water Resource Board to be with you and to talk a little bit on our journey on the flood warning system. I thank you, the World Bank I thank the EU Commission for this exceptional organization. And also I thank to all participants here present, even if we are not physical together. I think the technology was to communicate and to share our experience and also our knowledge. As you know, Rwanda is located, sorry, my name is Prima Waziza, as Kara said. I am the Director General of Rwanda Water Resource Board. The Rwanda Water Resource Board is a public institution dealing with all aspects regarding the sustainability of water resource in Rwanda. Rwanda is located on a divide of two major basins of Africa, Congo Basin and the Nile Basin. Within the two basins, Rwanda is subdivided in 9 level 1 catchment based to hydrological maps, based to our topography. One of the case of study, one of the pilot zone where the government of Rwanda installed the early warning system is one of the 9 catchments called the severe catchment, located in north and the western part of Rwanda. As you know, on national surfaces, Rwanda is covered by 26,338 square kilometers. The difference in elevation goes from 4,500 meters to a little less than 1,000 meters. The rainfall exceeds in some areas to 2,000 millimeters per year, meaning that we have a lot of rainfall. The above particulation makes the country much vulnerable to flood and the landslide, especially in that part of Rwanda, which is recording a huge rainfall during all the period of the year. Coming especially to, please go to the next slide. Coming to the special case of severe catchment, which is located in northwest part of Rwanda, it has been experiencing recurrent flooding caused by Sebeya River and its tributary. Please go to the next slide, causing loss of life and the properties, traffic, the interruption, including the international law linking the Republic of Rwanda with the Republic of Democratic of Congo, and also sometimes displacement of different residents. Please, on the second slide. The Sebeya is a river, is an important source of the fast urbanizing area and its downstream subcatchment. The river generates power. It provides drinking water, sand, stone, and the clay for making bricks for construction purpose. In the past, this severe catchment, this area have been suffered from large-scale deforestation and the degradation, especially over the last 3 decades, due to the production of charcoal and the firewood and the needed of arable land. Those are due to our horrible history with a high, it is also a suitable land for agriculture with a high density population. To overcome that situation in that area, which is needed by our population due to its arable land, its presence of water, the government of Rwanda has been implementing several landscape restoration measures in Sebeya. Please go to the next slide. In Sebeya catchment and the flood and the flood area warning system was piloted in this critical catchment with the support of ACP-EU program through the World Bank funded project called the Landscape Approach to Forest Restoration and Conservation, called the LAFRIC. The main objective of that project was to ensure safety of community that are close to Sebeya River and prone to flooding and minimizing the damage occurred in unexpected manner. The Sebeya flood area warning system was developed at 4 high-risk locations where a system for real-time water level monitoring, analyzing, and mapping flood hazard have been implemented. For the flood hazard map development, this was produced in different hazard map in 4 critical flood zones. The map help in understanding the community, infrastructure, agriculture, field. Please go to the next slide. Household under the risk of flooding in case Sebeya River overflows. This map is showing the flood as the risk map. For the river monitoring level, the judging station collecting near time flow and the rainfall data have been also installed and are used to closely monitor rising of water level to automatically send message when predefined water level are exceeded. Please go to the next slide. For the flood forecasting system development, this is a model of Sebeya catchment was developed. This is a model which was developed in Sebeya catchment, and it repeatedly ran to forecast river level. Exceedance of threshold lead to the alarm. All those technical installation of flood area warning system, we have already recorded a number of positive impacts which has been registered during and after development of the pilot flood area warning system for the Sebeya catchment. Those positive impacts include building national capacity to develop and implement the warning system, including hydrological modeling, flood hazard assessment, flood forecasting, dissemination, and communication, etc. The second positive impact is that the increased awareness of community and the flood risk and the improved knowledge of appropriate response in case of alert. Practically, during last year, during the flood period from March to May, where we record, especially in Rwanda, the heavy rainfall, and in November to December last year, the system have registered the good positive impact where the system generated the flood area warning messages and the community were prepared in advance. No loss of life was registered and no considerable loss of property were recorded as compared to the previous period before the establishment of this important system. Flood hazard map developed during the development of the system were used by Rwanda Housing Authority, which is a public institution dealing with whole housing construction and the building, and the Rubavu district. This flood hazard map helped in the development of the Rubavu city master plan, whereby special consideration was given to flood-prone area in the planning and the zoning. Next, please, next slide. To overreach the most vulnerable population in of the community where they are the most, and there are beneficiaries of this system. Operators of the system see the list of automatically generated alarm highlighted based on predefined threshold. Alarms are converted in alert, and the messages are disseminated through phone messages and emails. Those who are using emails for sure. As a predefined list of recipients for each zone was established. As subdivided our administrative entity at sector level, we have leaders, cell, and the village at village level, all those receive those information. In addition to administrative authority, there is a security organ, there is a youth volunteers, which is an organ of independent youth, which are helping the population in their day-to-day activity. There are women representatives, there are farmer representatives, and they also Red Cross committee, which are near the population and are there to help the population in the reception of those alerts, and those alerts are disseminated to the population and the coordinate response measures with the population in the community. Dear participants, the target or the way forward for this flood early warning system, the government of Rwanda piloted this through this fund from World Bank in severe catchment. This system, the government is intended to spread and to implement the system in other different parts of Rwanda, where we are recording a huge rainfall in northern, in city of Kigali, and in part in western province. This will be a component of the national early warning system platform, because we want to live from flood early warning system and to have to be equipped with a national early warning system, which will be directly linked to the Ministry of Emergency Management, and there will be a key tool for disaster command posts composed of Ministry of Emergency Management, Ministry of Local Government, which is the ministry heading the local government of Rwanda, from the provinces to the cells, the Rwanda Water Resource Board, the Rwanda National Police, the Red Cross, and also the local government, which is representing our, go to the next slide, which is representing our last beneficiaries.
DJ Prime, can I ask you to also wrap it up in 30 seconds so that we have at least one very quick round around the table?
Yes. I am coming to this was my last slide. I'd like, because I have already said on this warning presentation view to the users, go to the next slide, which will be at the end of our presentation. I can say only in a few the challenges. The challenges we still need, more monitoring station to get accurate data. We still need to update the model due to the unplanned land use change due to the trend of the development. Also, there is a challenges due to the climate change, where there is a need of a strong coordination in communication with those alarm to alert, because sometimes the meteorological forecasts are different to the reality of rainfall due to the climate change issues and partners. Dear participants, World Bank, EU, I'd like to thank you again for your attention, and wishing you all the best. I thank you.
Yes, thank you, DJ Prime Gabunziza, for this very exciting presentation. on a very concrete level in the country. And you know, as some of you know, we had substantial flood here in my home country, in Germany and in Belgium. So we're all also here, you know, from the community, we're really reminded again of the powerfulness of strong early warning system. And I can just, you know, congratulate you to really move that forward. I think we have had a very interesting overview of what the ACP program has delivered from the regional perspective, ECOWAS, as well as from the perspective of working with concretely on early warning, like in Rwanda. So I think that's been a very exciting overview. If I saw that there were no questions or nothing in the chat with, you know, to our speakers, and I'll take the liberty to take those 10-15 minutes which we lost at the beginning to add them here to the end. Maybe just since we are a bit out of time already, to just give every one of you the floor to hear from you what you think are either, you know, the next steps. I think DJ Prime, you have already mentioned that on the challenges on the next steps, you know, how you plan to scale that up. And then maybe Bernard as well, from ECOWAS side, I think your plans are very ambitious to really become, how to call it, a regional program. What are, in your opinion, the next steps to take this program forward? And from Matthias, maybe, you know, how you've experienced so far data sharing, working with national and the regional level. I'm asking this because I know you at SADC have done quite a bit on this data exchange. How shall we go? DJ Prime, do you want to start? And, you know, and then we ask Bernard and Matthias maybe with some reflections as well. DJ Prime, in terms of next steps, what is on your side? How you take that forward, and have you already had any, you know, any collaboration with the regional level?
The next steps, as I said during my presentation, we started in Sebeya, which is one of our catchment, which is recording a huge rainfall with a high population density, with a good agricultural land. So that was the pilot. Now our planning is to move from Sebeya to go to another part, which is located in volcano area in a northern province also, and also to implement this early warning system in Kigali city. The Kigali city is one of the cities which have a huge expansion in development, in a road network, and also in population density. As you know, the Rwanda is a mountainous country. This will be the third priority of implementation of early warning system, and also we'll go back to the Western province for this early warning system, because at the end we want to have a national early warning system which will be informing our government, which will informing our population on the unexpected disaster which can occur due to the climate change. Because we should agree, we are going to live with the climate change, but we are going to be resilient to climate change. For the partnership with other international organizations, we are in this ECOWAS, we are in this East African community, we are in SADC, we are in Nile Basin, we are in Initiative, we are in Congo Basin. So those regional and international region. We are also part of the World Bank, which is supporting this first pilot early warning system. We are trying to collaborate and to see our dream becoming the reality, because we have a hope and because we are recording the positive impact in pilot zone. We don't have any doubt that the early warning system at national level will be established and to be resilient to the climate change. Thank you.
Thank you, DJ Prime. I think this is really encouraging words going forward, and I really like the way how you've mentioned that it's a key tool for the country to become resilient. Bernard, Kofi, in terms of next steps, you are planning a partnership forum. As a last reflection, also hearing from countries like Rwanda and SADC, what are next steps on ECOWAS side to turn these ambitious policies now into actions, into actions on the ground in the different member states, as well as in the regional level?
Thank you very much, Carl. First of all, we will take stock of the ongoing program supported by different partners. And like I said, we will develop the financial implementation plan of the adopted document, hydromet initiative, flood strategy. And we will submit the financial plan to partner at the partner meeting. It is important to mobilize the partner to implement. This is important document for the region that can help both the member state. I highlighted the needs, and the regional institution agreement was called. As you know, agreement is the regional climate center, and the regional climate center, ECOWAS regional climate center, need to be operated. It is very important to operationalize the regional climate center. And the last, not the least, the capacity building. Capacity building of ECOWAS institution is very important. We have directorate of early warning, we have environment, agriculture, sectoral directorate. There is a need of capacity and support from a team of experts that can help us in terms of planning, monitoring, and implementation. Carl, this is what I wanted to share with you, with all the participants and partners here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bernard. I think that invitation is obviously a partnership is for everyone to contribute to see how partners in the region globally can help ECOWAS and its member state to implement this strategy. And last but not least,
we expect, Carl, sorry, we expect that we expect sincerely that the European Union will support this process. Our hydromet strategy is beyond the continental integrated strategy for which EU is seeking for funds also, so that supporting the continental, the regional can help for better achievement of the expectation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Bernard. I think that's a very important statement, and maybe let's us close the loop to then see if Matthias Rademan Jara also has any last reflections, either on what would be next steps, but I also know that you, Matthias, are are leading at SADC Climate Service Center the work on data integration, in terms of how that practically works. So what is from your side? What are your? I think you've done in the SADC region quite more. I don't want to say more than the other regions, but to my knowledge, quite a bit already on data management, data integration, working national and the regional level to synthesize everything. So what are the challenges or any recommendations you have with this regard? Because I believe that it will be relevant for all of the others as well. Matthias, you want to to come in with a closing reflection?
Thank you, Carl, to give me again the opportunity on that. Regarding the data sharing, I will first take in particular SADC-CSC. SADC-CSC received data only from GTS using automatic message switching system. At CSC, we have a data management system called Classes, which used and manage all of the data from member state and global data. But the big challenge is that the data sharing is the policy. In SADC region, we don't have a data sharing policies. That's the one of big challenge. However, member state share data to SADC-CSC from automatic weather station given by the project for last project. In additional, the challenge is that on the equipment, most of country have not sufficient equipment to collect data. For example, most of country don't have a data management, climate data management system because of the source fund not enough in the national meteorological services. And finally, I would like to add also the challenges. One of the challenges, the capacity. All of that, I would like to invite partners to assist SADC, CSC, even in national level, on the capacity building in the region of the national expert. Thank you for giving me the floor. Thank you, Carl.
Thank you, Matthias, for, from a very concrete perspective. And I think the policy level on data sharing is something which I guess, everyone can, many of the regional entities are facing across the globe, actually. With that, I want to thank everyone. I want to thank Bernard Kofi, Matthias Rademanjara, and Prime Gabonziza for coming forward to presenting on ECOWAS, SADC, and Rwanda's case. The ACP program has done a lot on the hydromet modernization, and I guess will, with the new programs, etc., will continue to do so. It's been really a big cornerstone, and as climate change is progressing, I guess, one indeed of the low-hanging fruits to support the adaptation to the climate risks. With that, let me thank everyone and just invite you to continue joining the ACP focus days. There are a number of interesting sessions as well coming forward tomorrow. Thanks again for everyone for joining, and with that, let me close the session and hand it back to the technicians going forward. Thank you, and good evening to everyone.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Carl.
Thank you. Bye.